Good morning, welcome to another monotype run in Johto on the Retrobrown channel. Wow, really can't get my words out today. Today we are doing a poison type monotype run in Johto actually. We're not doing this in Kanto, what am I talking about? And this is going to be an interesting one because even though Gen 1 offered a lot of poison type Pokemon to work with, Gen 2 offered very little to work with. So yeah, we're going to be having very little to work with, but hopefully we can still manage to do this with these Pokemon. We are going to start off with our Spinarak, which will evolve into an Ariados later on, and we're going to have Jed Hunter, one of our subscribers, as our Spinarak Ariados for this run. Now you might be thinking Spinarak is an awful Pokemon. Well, in a team-based play, not that bad as you'd think really. Does get some decent moves to work with, but we also don't get all too much to work with in the very early game. So this will be kind of weird, but we'll soon see whether we can actually do this or not. Starting off with Spinarak, of course, we also need to think about, well, we're going to be very weak to the very first gym, and that's not going to help us out a lot considering the moves we actually get to start off with. Once we've picked up Pokedex from Professor Oak, we've stayed over at Mr. Pokemon's house, we can then head back to New Barktown and then fight the rival for the first time. And this is going to be a hard one because, as you've seen there, we chose Spinarak in the final slot. And even with, we're going to make sure we take the berry off him, of course, because I did that on the last run, and yeah, we managed to actually beat Bear Capery because of it. We are going to make the rival start with Chikorita, just because I don't think this is going to be a very easy run. We need all we can use to work with, and I also like the rival having Chikorita, just because it's a hard Pokemon to go against, even if you have got the type advantage. So we do start off with Poison Sting, which is a decent move to have, but we really don't get much work with in the early game because the level cap is only level 9. And that's going to be a bit of a problem. We're going to have Brando as our rival for today, and give him a big shout out because the Poison type is a difficult type to work with in Johto. It's Leonardo Brando, thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel. And let's get on with this run. Now the first Pokemon we're going to go and pick up is technically a Kanto Pokemon, but the reason we're using it in particular is because in this generation Zubat got itself a second evolution in Crobat. So I feel like it's fine to use Zubat for this one, and we're going to have Starlaw 00 as our Zubat for this run because way ago when we last did a Poison type or a Zubat run, Starlaw has to be the Zubat Crobat at that point, so I'm honouring that today with Starlaw being our Crobat. So we also could pick up a third Pokemon if we really wanted to. We could pick up a Bellsprout because it technically is grass poison, but it didn't do well in the grass video where unfortunately the first gym completely walled us as the grass type. So I'm not going to try and pick up a Bellsprout at this stage. We are going to try and do this with just these two Pokemon. And the reason why I think it's possible with just these two Pokemon is the fact that Starlaw gets Supersonic. Yes, it's got terrible accuracy, but it gives us a chance where they can actually hit themselves with Confusion, and that will be very valuable. So once we've managed to get up all the way up to level 9, just bordering on the level 10 with experience, we can then go against Falkner. And Falkner is going to be very difficult because, well, for one, we've got terrible moves to work with, but we do have Poison Sting, which does have a chance to poison. That could be helpful. But yeah, Leech Life from Zubat is not really going to do all too much. So we've got very bad moves to work with. We're going to have to rely heavily on our status moves, and that might be all we need to help get through this. Thankfully, Zubat is not hit by super effective damage from flying type Pokemon, but Jed Hunter actually is. So even in the early game, we do get Scary Face, which is very valuable. But we're going to have to rely on Supersonic quite a lot to get through this. And it takes a lot of good RNG, and unfortunately we don't get it this first time against Birdkeeper Abe. When it does work in our favour though, we start off by using Scary Face on the Spearow. From there, if we can get at least poisoned, which we do on this turn, that makes this a lot easier because now they're going to lose HP every single turn. We also confuse them, meaning they're doing more and more damage to themselves over the turns, but that poison damage is very, very key to making this work. Thankfully, we can just sort of keep our HP up with Leech Life by getting one back every turn, and we do beat Birdkeeper Abe. But is that going to be the same against Falkner? Falkner, of course, has also got the move Mud Slap, which is super effective against all of our poison types, and that's not a great scenario to be in. We start off the same strategy again where we use Scary Face and we use Poison Sting to get the poison. And that's where we switch into using Star-Lord, because now they don't have any super effective damage against us, because we've been a poison flying type, and the only poison flying type I think still to this date, even with Gen 9, that's very valuable when you've got ground type moves coming against you. It neutralises that weakness completely. When the Pidgeotto comes out, we need to make sure it gets confused before switching back into Jed Hunter to get Scary Face off. That way we can actually outspeed it to try and get it poisoned, which we do on the next Poison Sting. You can see there, now we've switched back into Star-Lord, it's poisoned, we've got it confused as well, and from here, as long as it keeps hitting itself with confusion, we should be fine, but this took a hell of a lot of RNG to get right, and my god, we were probably in the 20th attempt before we even got this attempt that worked, but we can beat Falconer with this team before the level cap, and I'm very happy about that, because these are not great Pokemon at the start. Once we head up the Sprout Tower, we are going to pick up the HM for Flash, which will become useful very later on. But we also want the experience we can get from going against this guy here. Poison Sting is not a great move, but at least it's neutral against a Bellsprout. Jet Hunter can get some good experience here, but then we'll switch it into... Oh no, we're not going to switch. We're going to keep in with our Jet Hunter, hopefully to take down the second Bellsprout. Now, you might be thinking, what is going to be the next Pokemon that we will pick up? Well, we're not going to pick them up for quite a while now. We are going to stick with these Pokemon for a pretty long time, because we need a certain key item to actually get the third Pokemon for this run. And even then, it's not exactly the most impressive Pokemon, but I quite like it. I quite like it in this generation. It got an evolution in, well, regional form and evolution in Gen 8. So if you know your Pokemon facts, and you know, just based off that information I've given you, you should know exactly which Pokemon we're going to be going for later on. Union Cave has its own problems as well, but we've thankfully at level 12 learnt the move Bite. So it's a special move in this generation, and that means we can get around the rock types like defensive prowess, because they don't have great special defenses to work with. Also, it has the chance to flinch, and Zubat is pretty fast Pokemon, so we can get through them fights pretty comfortably. But when we come against poison type Pokemon ourselves, we're going to have to rely on Bite a lot here. Like, Star-Lord is pretty much our main damage dealer for the majority of this run. And when it evolves and evolves again, it is going to get incredible speed. Crobat is an incredibly quick Pokemon. That is really going to help us out in this run. When we come to the Rocket side quest in Azalea Town, of course, we're going to start off with Jed Hunter, trying to do some chip damage, use Scary Face to get speed lower, but then I remembered Coughing is also a very slow Pokemon to begin with anyway. And that brings in Star-Lord, where again, main damage dealer, can take out the Coughing pretty comfortably after that. Now that's completed, we can progress on to Bugsy, and Bugsy actually will be a decent challenge for us, but we've got everything we need to work with these two Pokemon to make this possible. We make sure we go against every single Pokemon trainer in their gym so we can actually get some experience, but we might even be able to do this under leveled. I really wish that Spinarak could get a different move than Constrict early on in the game, because Constrict is such a bad move. It's got 10 base power. It doesn't even do wrap damage on you over turns. It's just a bad move overall. Even Poison Sting, when it's resisted against Spinarak, does just about as much damage as Constrict. So yeah. When the Ladybar comes out, of course, we're going to use Scary Face because it is just outspeeding us a bit, but we should be able to outmatch it and outpace it in damage output, especially if we poison it. Of course, that is going to be very key to the gym leader fight. So you might be thinking as well, why are we not adding more Kanto poison types to the team? Well, I don't think we're going to need them. I genuinely don't think we're going to need them. I genuinely think the 3 Pokemon we pick up throughout this run will actually be able to complete this game with all the level caps, no held items, because I've done every single one of these monotype runs with no held items. It's a banned rule on my channel. Cannot use held items, even in solo runs. You can't use double team, and that's what we've got to work with. Star-Lord is amazing for this fight because it is resisted to Fury Cutter. 4 times resisted. Still annoying though when they use Quick Attack on us and we get taken down. But that also means that we can then start using Scary Face to lower the speed. It's going to take 2 Scary Faces to do that, but the confusion damage really helps us out there, and we do get a first time win against Bugsy. So I'm quite happy with that one. The next fight, of course, is going to be the Azalea Town rival, and this is one of the hardest rival fights in the entire game, in my opinion. It just genuinely is. So what we're hoping for is Zubat really comes in clutch here. We're going to start off with using Bite against the Ghastly because it's super effective in this generation. God, I've probably the best change they could have done to that move was changing it to a dark move. Like, it also doesn't, I wouldn't say it makes 100% sense why Bite is a dark move, but I'm very happy that they did make this change. It makes it more useful because 60 base power normal type move, there's plenty of better normal type moves out there. I mean, you could use Headbutt, which has got 70 base power, and you get it in the next area on. We also pick up the move for Nightshade at level 17 for Spinnerack, and that's going to be perfect because now we can deal out consistent damage. Annoyingly though, we want to be able to get a Scary Face or 2 up on the Bayleaf, that way we can actually outspeed. But unfortunately Razor Leaf just does too much damage to us over those turns. So we need to try this again. It's not a guaranteed win every single time on this one with this team. But Starlaw here, it won't outspeed the Ghastly, it's kind of a speed tie at the moment at this level. And we're actually still underleveled for level 20 to be able to do this fight. We can outspeed his Zubat though, and get a few flinches and confusion procs. And we're actually doing really, really well this attempt. This was probably like attempt 4 or 5 to be able to beat him here. And the RNG has worked in our favour very, very well here. We've got Leech Life to get our HP back if we need to when we get hit by Razor Leaf. I mean, the critical hits, that's really going to help us out. The Reflector's now down, so we'll deal out more damage. And pretty much, you only need a Zubat to make this fight possible. You really do. And that's only if you start off with Bayleaf as the rival's Pokemon. That brings us on to Goldenrod City, and unfortunately we actually do have High Happiness now, so we can pick up Return. We can also pick up the TM for Dig in the National Park. And these 2 moves alone might be all we need to be able to beat Whitney. Whitney is going to be a hard challenge for these Pokemon, but we'll soon find out whether it's possible. So even at Gym 3 we are still heavily reliant on confusion moves, but we have now upgraded Supersonic to Confuse Ray, which is 100% accurate, and that makes a massive difference. We've taught Return to our Zubat as well. It's got incredibly high friendship, which is perfect because that's what we're going to need for the Crobat anyway. It's a friendship evolution, but you need to have Golbat to do it. We don't get Golbat until after the level cap here. We did lose to Whitney the first time around because all of our Pokemon are going to be weak to rock type moves, but Jet Hunter this time around goes really, really well here. Using a combination of Dig, Poison Sting, we do pretty well against it, and Dig is also a great move to make sure we can actually... Oh wow, we've had to use 2 Scary Faces to be able to outspeed the Miltank, but by using Dig we can also get a round rollout accumulation damage. Annoyingly, on 2 HP we don't have enough to work with, so we're going to go for the Confuse Ray strats here. Hopefully it hits itself Confusion enough times, and we can use Bite to get the flinch chances. With all the cheese on our plate here, we can take the crackers and we can actually do this. Man, that is a weird analogy, and probably not even a real analogy. That is bad on my part. We English have a lot of weird sayings, it's just how it is. But we beat Whitney pretty comfortably on the second try, and we progressed to get the move Rollout. Now I actually don't know if any of our Pokemon can learn this move, but we'll soon find out later down the line. Next we go and smash Psychic Greg in the face because we don't like this guy. Sorry to all the Gregs out there, but Psychic Greg does not represent you guys well. We take him down with a load of bites, progress into Ecruteak City, and it's probably time with the level cap at level 25 that we could go in out and evolve our Zubat into Golbat. I think it evolves level 24. But we'll do that after we've gone against quite a few of the trainers that are all mandatory in Morty's gym. Jed Hunter goes pretty well here with Digs, and the most annoying thing is the fact we got cursed. So we do need to do quite a lot of switching out, but we can't do that once they've set up Mean Look. But these trainers, they offer quite a lot of experience, so even if you're around about level 20, you can quite quickly get up to the mid-20s just from the mandatory trainer fights in the gym alone. So I wouldn't suggest over-leveling at this point, because otherwise you might get to the point which I did in a few videos ago where I was kind of over-leveled at that point, and oh, we're evolving now. That's pretty good. Yeah, we got a Golbat. That also means that now with the friendship, we could probably evolve it into Crobat pretty soon, but Golbat is a great addition to this team. It's fast, it does have Bite, which is a lot more useful in this generation, and hopefully as well we can get an Ariados soon. I can't remember what level it evolves, but I'm pretty sure it's the early 20s as well. We'll soon find out. And yeah, it's level 22, so both of these Pokemon evolve pretty early on, and we've got a much more powerful team to work with here. We also get to the final medium in this gym, and we don't have Golbat for very, very long. Once we've leveled up, we're actually going to get our Crobat pretty soon. Because its friendship is so high, it's a friendship-based evolution, and Crobat levels up, and we have our Crobat for the run. We have got a stacked team now to take on Morty. This is pretty good. I'm looking forward to this one. We should be able to beat him first time, but he has got very tricky moves to work around. Morty, of course, he's got his Ghastly to start off with. We're going to go for Dig. Annoyingly, we get paralysed on the very first turn. That you never want to see that, but Dig is a one-shot on the Ghastly. Is it a one-shot on the Haunter? Probably not, but it will be after it uses curse damage to reduce its HP by half. We've now run out of Dig PP, so we're going to go for Nightshades, and pretty much Jet Hunter's done all it needed to in this fight. We can now bring in Starlaw, who is much faster, and a couple of bites can get ourselves the win against the Gengar. This is a first-time attempt against Morty here, but thanks to Dark-type moves, we can get the win incredibly quickly. There is 4 gym badges in total, level caps come to level 30, and we can also progress on to Olivine City, where we pick up the Good Rod, although I think you need the Super Rod for this Pokemon, and you can pick up a Quillfish if you go back to Violet City and go south from there. But this Pokemon doesn't appear just by fishing alone. You have to wait for the fisherman to phone you and tell you that there's like a mass outbreak of some sort. I don't know what they call it in this generation. But we can pick up a Quillfish, the water poison type, and we are going to call him Jimmy McKin. We're going to call him Jimmy McKin. And we have got our full team for this run. Now you might be thinking these are all mediocre Pokemon, especially Ariados and Quillfish. Crobat is by far the biggest player on this team that's supposed to be really, really good. But both of the other two are really going to come into their own pretty soon. We actually can learn Rollout as a Quillfish because, I mean, it's shaped like a... What is it? It's supposed to be one of the underwater mines. That's what it's based off. Because it's got spikes and it's a pufferfish as well. So it's a big ball. So of course it makes sense they can learn Rollout. Jet Hunter having Dig is a great move as well, especially for the Magnemites coming up later in this run, which are 4 times weak to ground type moves, so having Dig on your moveset is very valuable. When the Bayleaf comes back out, we are still using Poison Sting at this stage. We've not even gone over to Cyanwood City yet. And to be fair, the best poison type move we can actually pick up in this entire game is probably going to be Sludge Bomb. And I might not even need it. I genuinely might not even need it. Bringing ourselves into Olivine City, of course. We're going to head over to the lighthouse and we'll go and start off the Secret Potion side quest. And it kind of annoys me you've got to do these little things here to get through the game. I would rather just have a linear path when I'm doing these videos, but otherwise, there wouldn't be great games if they were just completely linear. These side quests mean something to the experience. We could pick ourselves up a Tentacle if we really, really struggle, but Quillfish on its own, on my solo run, I actually proved that it's actually decent to use. We pick up the Secret Potion in Cyanwood City, and then we begin the next fight, which is going to be the fighting type gym of Chucks. And of course, that comes with the Dojo Brothers back-to-back fights, and thankfully, with us being the poison type, we resist fighting type moves. Yeah. I don't understand how that works. But either way, this Hitmonlee still is a big problem. It takes down Jimmy McKin pretty quickly, so we have to bring in Jet Hunter. We could use Nightshade to just deal out decent, consistent damage. And then we learn the move Leech Life. Now, this is a great move. I don't think people realise the journey that Leech Life has actually been on. It started off in Gen 1 as a 20 base bug type move that can recover your HP. By Gen 9, it is now 80 base power. It is an incredible move in the later generations, and I still like using it in the early generations as well because for bug types they don't really have much to work with. Leech Life really is useful. So we're going to see how we do against Chuck here, and Chuck has got 2 fighting type Pokemon. Annoyingly, we don't have the move Wing Attack yet, which again got a boost in this generation. It's a decent move in this generation. I think it's got 60 base power. But Crobat is all we really need for this fight. Confuse Ray can deal out confusion. Return can deal out consistently high damage. We don't even take a single point of damage for this entire fight. And that is really impressive considering the last video we really struggled against Chuck. We had to go and beat Jasmine first before we could even go against him. So I'm quite happy that we managed to get an easier Chuck fight this time round. I don't think Jasmine's going to be the same boat though. We do have moves that can work against her. I'm going to go give it a try. So Jasmine, of course, is going to start off with her Magnemites, and the main thing, we can actually outspeed them. Aridos can one-shot them with Dig, which is perfect, but that brings in a Steelix. So we are going to switch into using our Quillfish, but I nearly did that in fight. I'm trying to do this on set mode, where you don't do that in fights. You have to waste a turn by switching out. Steelix then sets up Sunny Day, which is really annoying, and then uses Iron Tail, which deals out over half our damage and lowers our defense. So Jimmy Bikin goes down, and we are not looking in a great position. We are very under-leveled for this fight, being at level 26, where they're nearly 10 levels above us. But we can get the Confusion procs off. We waste the Hyper Potion, but I kind of wanted to keep Quillfish in to get more Surfs off before that happened. That just brings in Jed Hunter now, and we're going to have to rely on Diggs or Nightshade here. We go for Diggs to try and waste some of his Iron Tail PP, because after that he only has Rock Throw, which is super effective, but it will deal less damage than Iron Tail. Annoyingly, it doesn't happen this time round though. So we got to try this again. Jed Hunter again takes out the first Magnemite. We need to keep Jed Hunter for the final Magnemite, because the other two won't be able to match up to it. We then hit it with a big Surf, the Steelix, and then he sets up Sunny Day, which isn't great. But from here I'm going to switch into Starlord, because we need to keep that Quillfish for when the sun goes down. We can use Confuse Ray to get it confused. It hits itself with Confusion, which is perfect. From there, because we outspeed, we tried to get the flinch chances, but it didn't happen. So we can switch back in, Sun is down, and Surf will now do bigger damage. From there, Steelix then goes down, which is perfect, bringing us into Magnemite. From here, we're just going to deal out some chip damage, but we will get taken down by Thunderbolt. This is the whole reason why we need Jed Hunter to stay into the last Pokemon. We get a final dig off, and we beat Jasmine at a very low level, really. Like, I'm very surprised at how low leveled we were to beat her. So that brings us to, with 6 gym badges, to heading over to Mahogany Town for the 7th gym badge. And of course, Price is going to be easy. He is really going to be easy for us. He's easy in most runs because he's just not a good trainer. He's got very low level Pokemon. What's more challenging about Mahogany Town is the fact you've got the Rocket side quest here. And most of our Pokemon aren't going to deal well against the Red Gyarados. So that's going to be an interesting fight as it's coming up soon. Annoyingly, Jed Hunter is going to get taken down by Magnitude. Oh no, we don't get taken down. Magnitude didn't... I'm pretty sure when I was playing that they got a Magnitude 10 there that wiped us out, but no, it was Magnitude 7. The Red Gyarados is difficult, but thankfully Jimmy McKinn being a Water type can deal out big damage with Rollout. Yeah, that doesn't make sense, but yeah. It resists any Water type moves, so they wouldn't use it on us, so they would only use Thrash or Dragon Rage. But Rollout was still a great move to be using because of the accumulation damage. The Rocket side quest goes pretty smoothly as you would expect, and then we get to the Rocket Executives right at the end. Majority of the time we are using Crobat because it's so fast we can sweep through the fights pretty quickly, especially with Return on our moveset. Like, Crobat Return is a great combination to be using. I have to remember that for when I actually do the Crobat solo run, because I don't think I've done that yet. I can't remember. I've done a lot of solo runs. I've got like 90% of my videos on this channel are solo runs. But that brings us to Price's gym, and of course, he's not going to be too much of a problem, really. It's Price. Price, of course, is going to start off with his Seal. We're going to go in with Jimmy McKinn and set up the rollouts to make this an easy sweep for the rest of the fight. Dugong will go down to a 4-turn rollout, and then that just leaves Piloswine, who does resist rock, so... Ooh, we get a critical hit for the 5th one. That is a very easy Price fight. This is why you shouldn't sleep on Quillfish. Give it rollout, it can do some big damage. That means, though, the Rocket side quest needs to continue over in Goldenrod City, and that brings in, of course, the guy with the full team of 6 of Coffins and a Weezing. We're going to try and sweep through this as quick as we can with just Starlord, because it can nearly one-shot most of the Pokemon. Return's just doing like massive damage, so it's going to be at least a 2-shot on most Pokemon anyway. But we've been hit by a lot of smoke screens, and we are starting to run out of Return PP. So once we've run out of that, we can switch to Wing Attack, or we can switch out to get our accuracy back. That's a good trick anyway. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that by now, that if you switch out, all the stat changes, they reset anyway. I mean, if you didn't know that by now, that's... Wow, we got hit by Explosion. She's using my tactics from the Rock Mono video. Jed Hunter comes in, sweeps up with Dig. It's not a hard fight, this one, with this sort of team. As long as you've picked up the moves like Dig, Roll Out, and Return, it's pretty comfortably easy. That means we can then head to the Underground and go against our rival Leonardo Brando one more time. This is probably the second hardest rival fight in the entire game, so let's see how we do here. Brando sets out his Golbat, and because he hasn't increased his friendship, he doesn't have a Crobat yet. He gets that in the post game when you go to Mount Moon. I might show that in one later video, but right now I'm focused on just doing these videos to the major fights, because I mean, who really cares about majority of Kanto in the post game on these videos apart from going against Blue and Red? I did it when I first started out the Johto solo runs, and to be honest, it would just take ages, so it just made no point. It would just increase the videos ridiculously for no reason, and it's less animation time for me as well, less editing. So I'm happy with that as well. The rival fight here, of course, is a bit of a problem. We've got down to just Starlaw, we have confused the Meganium, and it has set up Reflect, which is not great because we're a physical attacker with our Crobat. We do get hit by Body Slam a couple of times, we don't want to be paralysed, and we managed to take down Meganium, thank God. That just leaves the Sneasel, and 1 or 2 returns will take it down. So not that hard of a fight, but this team is pretty well balanced, really. It can take hits, it can outspeed, it can deal out damage over time. It's a pretty well good team. I don't mind this team whatsoever. It's just I know these, at least 2/3 of this team are really not popular Pokemon to be using. And as I said in a previous video, I actually like the unpopular Pokemon. I really do. Like, Magmar is my favourite Gen 1 Pokemon. Stantler is my favourite Gen 2 Pokemon. So, yeah. I might actually do a video later down the line, like, telling you my favourite Pokemon per generation for each type. There's a website out there that allows you to do that. It gives you a good grid system to use and good drag and drop or, like, drop down system that allows you to do that. I might make a video on it later on. Let me know down in the comments if you would like a video where you see all my favourite Pokemon from every single generation using that. So, with the Rocket side quest completed, we can continue on to Blackthorn City, and this is where we hit a bit of a roadblock, really. Claire's Pokemon are not exactly super effective against us, but they have moves that are super effective, and they're powerful. So, Claire, of course, starts off with her Dragonair. We're going to go straight in with Jimmy McKinn, try and set up the rollouts, but it doesn't work in our favour, really, because we get paralysed. Of course we get paralysed. Which is annoying, because I'm hoping to take out at least 2 of the Dragonairs with just Jimmy McKinn, but we have to switch into Jed Hunter, and the best move we've got here is to use Scary Face and then Nightshade, before we get paralysed, of course. Oh, it's going to be all on Crobat again, isn't it? Yeah, because we get paralysed. Yeah. It's now a 3 against 1. Thankfully, Return can deal out big damage. Hoping this Dragonair doesn't have Ice Beam. Hoping we've just taken out the one with it, but we get paralysed again. Oh, what I would have... Oh, yeah, it is the one with Ice Beam, of course. Do they all have Ice Beam? I can't remember. Let me know down in the comments. I cannot remember whether they all have Ice Beam or they have the exact same movesets, all 3 of them. Kingdra takes us down, and we need to think of something different here. So, what do we do different? Well, we go up to level 37, so we're matching the Dragonairs at least, and we get a bit lucky on the first time round. This time we do get paralysed still, but Icy Wind manages to reduce their speed. But that's still not great. I wanted to take out at least 2 of these Dragonairs with just Jimmy McKinn. Let's go into Jed Hunter again, hopefully get the Scary Face proc, and its speed does fall, which means we now can outspeed with Nightshade, but then we get paralysed straight away. Yay, Thunder Wave, I hate the freaking move. Oh, it's 2 against 2, but we've been paralysed and Jed Hunter goes down straight away, so we're in the exact same position we were last time. So unless we get incredibly lucky with missing Thunder Waves and also, well, crits, I'm not going to say no to a crit. If we can get the Confusion look, hopefully, which we look like we're getting. Oh, Surf will do big damage, and she wastes a Hyper Potion, that's not great. Okay, let's just keep going. She's still confused, strangely enough. But no, we take another loss. That is really annoying. So we go up to level 38 to see if this makes any difference. And we also put Blizzard on Jimmy McKinn's moveset. Because we can outspeed the Dragonairs, Blizzard's a great move to be using here. If we can get a freeze, that'd be even more perfect. But we don't, we get a critical hit. And she uses her 3rd Dragonair first? for the Kingdra. That's interesting. We get the freeze as well. Jim McKinn's gone crazy on this one with Blizzard. I really should have picked it up earlier, really. Can we get a freeze on the Kingdra as well? No, we can't. And no, we can't. We've ran out of Blizzard PP, but we've taken down half HP, which means Gen Hoodie could be used just to get the scary faces off. If that means we can now get a one-shot with Return from Starlaw, that'd be perfect. Can it hit itself with Confusion? It does. And Return... Ooh. If they hadn't have hit themselves with Confusion there, they would have used their Hyper Potion. So that was very good RNG on our part. Very lucky that we actually did that. Because that took a lot of tries. Really did take a lot of tries to get to that point. We pick up the Dragon Fang and the final gym badge and progress through Victory Road, meaning one last fight with our rival Leonardo Brando. Let's see how we do here. So, we're at level 38 here going into this. Leech Life is super effective against Sneasel, which is perfect. We can keep our HP up. But we have taken quite a bit of damage from Quick Attack. Golbat is out next, and we also have been Screeched, so one Wing Attack will just completely wipe us out. We can use Blizzard to try and one-shot the Golbat. We also missed the first hit and then hit ourselves in Confusion. Once we've broken out of it though, Blizzard is still not a one-shot. We nearly lost 2 of our Pokemon and he's still got 4 left, which is not a good scenario to be in. Jimmy McKinn probably doesn't have much usefulness left in this fight, so we are going to let it fall. And it's all on Starlaw here. Can Starlaw do this? We managed to take down the Magneton, bringing in the Kadabra, which is fine because it's very defensively weak. Bringing in the Haunter where we can use Bite. Is it a one-shot? No, it's not. 2 bites take it down. It's all against Meganium. We're going to go for Wing Attack, which does over half damage. Body Slam paralyzes us. Oh, wow, this comes down to the wire. 1 HP. Starlaw manages to hang out on 1 HP while paralyzed. That is very, very close. But we thankfully don't need to go against the rival any more times now. What it's time for is the League, and the League starts off with our biggest challenge, which of course is going to be the Psychic type trainer Will. As a Poison type team, this terrifies me. This really terrifies me. We spend all our money on full restores and revives because we're probably going to be dying a lot in the Elite Four. So my biggest hope here is that we actually outspeed. Now Jimmy McKinn's a decent Pokemon to start out with if we can outspeed, because then we can use Blizzard or we can use Rollout. And Blizzard misses. Oh, you can't write this, can you? We get absolutely swept by the very first Startu. We really get swept by it. Jedhood got absolutely nothing here to deal with this. It doesn't even outspeed. Nightshade doesn't take it out. Although it does. It takes itself out in Confusion damage. Can we actually do this? Nah. Psychic comes out. Okay. Let's try this again. We've gone up to level 42 to start off with, and this time Blizzard hits first turn. We also get a freeze, which is perfect, because now we can start setting up Rollout. He's going to bring in Jinx, which on the second turn Rollout is a one-shot. That's impressive. Third turn Rollout for Rollout. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, this Slowbro might be a problem. Let's try and get the Confusion procs up and then use Bite to try and take it down. It's using Curse to increase its defense and attack, but that's fine because Bite is a special type move in this generation. From here, are we going to get better luck against the Xatu? We don't want to be hit by Psychic whatsoever, so we're really hoping Confusion helps us out here. Psychic nearly takes us out, but the second Bite gets us the win, leaving just Executor left. Now this is perfect because we still have Ariados in the background there. So even if we get taken down by Executor, we can have Leech Life on Ariados to make this work. But 2 Pokemon alone, Quillfish and Crobat get us the win, bringing us into Koga. Now this is my chance to show him that we are the best Poison type trainer in this region. For the fact that we only use Poison type Pokemon, because he has a Forretress which is Bug, Steel. Doesn't even have any Poison type moves, so it's a bit of a phony like Lance's with him trying to claim that he's a Dragon type trainer. One of the biggest problems about the Forretress as well is the fact that it also has the move Protect, so we can't even set up rollouts against it. What we can do though is use Swift, Swift Surf to deal out bigger damage, and Jimmy McKinn's doing pretty good against this team. Surf's going to do decent damage against Muck as well, but he starts setting up Minimize. If I can get the freeze, that'd be perfect, but he starts using moves like Sludge Bomb out on us. We are down on low HP, and hopefully Surf can one-shot it from here. There we go. Bringing in the Crobat. Can we outspeed? No, we can't. Okay. It's Crobat v Crobat. We outspeed at level 42, and we get the Confuse Ray off. couple of returns should get us the win here, but he's probably going to be put into a range where he's going to heal up with full restore. Of course he is. Okay, so we need to try this again. 3 returns will take down the Crobat, and thankfully because we outspeed, we get that win. And there we go, 2 Elite Four members down, and now we're on to Bruno. I don't think Bruno's going to be a hard battle for us here. We do have Wing Attack, which is super effective against fighting type Pokemon. And because they've all got decently high attack, if they hit themselves with Confusion, it's going to do quite a bit of damage. The big problem is going to be Onix, so I'm going to confuse it. Oh, Rock Slide is a big problem. We're going to use Bite, hopefully get some flinch chances. We do get him and we take down the Onix. That brings in Hitmonchan. I'm going to try and take out as many Pokemon as possible with just Starlaw, because it's got the best chance to even take out Pokemon here. We use Confuse Ray, but we... Ooh, can we take out this Machamp? Nope, Rock Slide takes us down. Okay, let's bring in Jed Hunter for the win. Ah, he uses Max Potion. What a cheese master. Okay. Best move that we've got here is Nightshade for this Pokemon, and annoyingly Rock Slide just does tons of damage. Everything is now on Jimmy McKinn. We can't get the freeze. Rock Slide is doing decent damage out, so we need to switch to Surf. Oh, do we have enough to make this work? We do, but it's just Hitmonlee left. Oh no, this isn't good. Hitmonlee's going to take us out. No! Double kick. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so definitely starting off with Starlaw is the way to go forward. We've went up to level 45 here, 1 level below the level cap for this fight. We can use Confuse Ray against the Onix, hopefully get some flinch chances, but we've also got the Confusion chance there, give us an extra bit of security. Wing Attack is now a one-shot on Hitmonchan. We Confuse Ray the Machamp, but it uses Rock Slide still, and critical hits us. Yeah, that's what we wanted. We really wanted that. Thanks Machamp. We're going to use Surf on the Machamp, and it's going to be at least a 4-shot on it. Less if it hits itself with Confusion. Rock Slide's not going to do much damage on us, but definitely switching into Jimmy McKinn here was a better move than going against the last Pokemon with Jed Hunter. If we can take it down before we get to the final Pokemon, at least we might be able to get a bit of chip damage out before Jed Hunter comes in. So we're going to go for Waterfall here. It deals out a quarter of his damage, and that might be enough for us to work with. Nightshade is going to do 45 damage per turn. We try and go for Dig, but he also sets up Swagger. That's not great, but it also increased our attack by 2 stages. And he pretty much sealed his fate with that, because we managed to get through Confusion. Dig was a one-shot from there. So let's see how we do against Karen. We've only got 2 trainers left before we become the league champion. We're starting off with Jed Hunter here because Leech Life is super effective against Dark-type Pokemon. It means we can keep our HP up, even though it's not dealing out great amounts of damage here. It's probably not going to recover all too much as well. We get Confuse Raid. This ain't looking great. We're at half HP already, but we can sort of keep our HP up. We probably would have already been taken out by now if we didn't have Leech Life, but the Confusion damage and missing is just not helping us out. Umbreon takes him down, and it's going to be on Jimmy McKinn to pick up the pieces. Jimmy McKinn, of course. Oh no, Vileplume's out next because we get paralyzed. Moonlight, yeah, this is not looking great already, is it? Oh no, I hate this Vileplume. On some runs, this Vileplume can completely wall you. We managed to get a lucky hit with Blizzard there that took it out, but now it's 3 against 1, and it's Starlaw versus Gengar. We get the Confusion off, and we've been cursed. That's perfect. We're now on a timer. We even need to one-shot. Oh, we've been paralyzed as well, man. Come on. This is just rubbing salt in the wounds here. Can we one-shot Murkrow? No, we can't. We're on 23 hit. No. Let's try that again. Okay. The big problem with the last attempt, we didn't get better luck against Umbreon. I should have just been going for Nightshade to deal out consistent damage every turn. And hopefully we can get to the second Pokemon with more HP to work with. And it doesn't happen again. Jed Hunter really didn't work well in this fight. So instead of going into Quillfish next, we're going to go into Starlaw. This will proctor to using a different Pokemon as our next choice. Gengar comes out, Curse hits, and because we can switch out, it now means that Curse damage is pointless. Jimmy McKinn can now start using Surf, and we get a... Oh, we nearly take it out from there. Should I start setting up rollouts? Well, we've been paralysed, so it's only a matter of time before Jimmy McKinn falls. Yeah, pretty much to the very next move. Okay, Confuse Ray the Vileplume. It's using Petal Dance anyway, which isn't going to hit us very much. And we can use Wing Attack to deal out bigger damage. That then brings in the next Pokemon, which is the Murkrow, the one that cheesed it in the last one. One return with a crit is going to take it out, and then we're going to confuse the Houndoom. Thankfully it hits us out of confusion. It's got pretty bad defense, this Houndoom, so at least for 2 returns can get us the win. And there we go, that's how we beat Karen with just these 3 Pokemon. But now the bigger problem comes, and that is Lancer with his team of 6. The only Pokemon we've got that can deal out super effective damage is Jimmy McKin. It's got Rollout and it's got Blizzard, 2 moves which are super effective against his entire team. Hopefully we can at least take out a couple of his Pokemon before that happens, but wow, we're actually outspeeding all the Dragonites. This is really impressive. We managed to take down half his team with just Jimmy McKin alone. Blizzard nearly one-shots the Dragonite level 50, but I feel like it's done its job like fantastically there. That means we're now into Aerodactyl, and the big problem here is it knows Rock Slide, which is super effective against Starlaw. Thankfully though, Confusion's working in our favour until the very last moment. We get down half HP, it jumps out of Confusion, now it's all on Jet Hunter to take down the next 2 Pokemon. And he still has a Charizard in the back. This isn't looking good, is it? Nah, we don't even outspeed it. So, Quillfish is hands down the key to this fight. We need to make sure we don't take much damage out. We really need to make sure we keep on top of Rollout in his entire team and not taking much damage. And that's hard because the Aerodactyl and the Charizard are very fast. Hopefully, we can get a freeze on this Dragonite. Can we? No, we can't. And again, it's happening the same way again. This time though, we go into Jed Hunter, who goes down immediately. Oh, great! It's all on Starlaw again. Jed Hunter, you've not really done too much in the league here, buddy. Okay, this time we get the Aerodactyl confused, and we start getting better luck. We get Confusion so many times that we finally get through to the Charizard on full HP. Charizard then uses Flamethrower, which is going to do about, wow, that's a lot of damage, so we're going to go for a return. And because of a lucky Confusion hit, we finally become the champion with just these 3 poison type Pokemon. I told you this would be possible. Don't sleep on these 3, they've got some utility and I'm happy to be using them. I would say Quillfish is probably one of my favourite water types in Gen 2. Then I also think there's Octillery, there's Lantern. I think Lantern's probably my favourite water type in this generation. But there we go. We can beat the entirety of Johto with just a team of poison type Pokemon from the Johto region. And I'm happy with that. Next up though, we have Kanto to deal with, and that means we now need to go against Blue, the former champion. Let's see how we do here. Because he's got a varied team, it's sometimes a difficult fight this. We could use Rollout against the Pidgeot to try and take out a lot of its HP. Wing Attack won't do all too much. Next out is Alakazam, and we don't outspeed it, meaning Jimmy McKin goes down in 1. We really need to take this Pokemon out in 1 hit, but we can't even do that with Return on Starlaw. It gets down to 1 HP before we get taken down by the Rhydon. Oh, thank God, it hit Self-Confusion. Oh my God, can we actually beat this Rhydon with flinches and confused damage? Nope, Fury Attack takes us down. It's all on Jed Hunter, and we've got Giga Drain now. That brings in Arcanine, and this is pretty much where the fight goes his way. Flamethrower is a one-shot, and we need to try that again. So this time I actually opted to start off with Starlaw. We have gone up to the level cap of level 58. This poison type team's not doing well in the late game. We can use Return to deal out big damage on Pidgeot, and that procs him into bringing in Alakazam. We do outspeed, so Confuse Ray will actually give us a chance to deal out some damage. We're going to use Bite as well, hopefully get a flinch chance. Didn't need it though, because the confusing damage was all we needed. Rhydon's out next. We're going to go for Bites, hope for the flinches. We get 2 flinches in a row. 3 flinches in a row, my God. Okay, that brings out Gyarados. Can we get the same here with the flinch chances? He gets a Rain Dance off, which isn't great, so we're going to go for returns, and then Hydro Pump. Wow. Surprised I actually didn't do more damage with him having the Rain up as well. Really surprised that's not doing more. Well, we managed to take out the Gyarados, but he's got 2 Pokemon left, and we definitely can't send in Jed Hunter here. We can send in Jimmy McKin though, and the Rain annoyingly does stop on this turn, which was annoying because then Surf would have been a one-shot. Flamethrower does decent damage, but 2 Surfs take down Arcanine. Last up is Executor, and it's a good thing we have Jed Hunter in the back, because even if we can freeze this Executor, which we can't, Solar Beam will one-shot us. But Jed Hunter's got everything it needs to take down this Executor. We've got Nightshade, which is doing pretty good damage out at level 58, but then he uses full restore on his Executor, and it's now a battle of attrition. Who's going to deal out more damage over time quicker than the other? He uses 2 full restores, runs 79 HP here. We might be able to tank 2 more. Oh, we can't. My god, his Egg Bomb missed. Thank god it's only got 75% accuracy, otherwise we'd have lost that attempt there. And we finally go up to level 81 as the level cap. This brings us into Mount Mortar, where we can go up Mount Silver as... Mount Silver... Is it Mount Silver or Mount Mortar? Either way, we're going against Red next. The final challenge for this video. So his Pikachu is his lead, and who do you think is going to be the best starter? Well, I opted for Jed Hunter because it does know the move Dig, and at level 71 that's a one-shot. From here we also Toxic the Snorlax, which will proc it into using Rest. We can hopefully get some special defense drops with Psychic, which unfortunately is not going to happen. Thankfully, Poison is dealing out quite a lot of damage, but from here, he is going to start using Rest and we need to start all over again. And as soon as he gets on low HP when he's Toxic, he just uses Rest. So unless we can stall out all of his Rest PP, Toxic's not going to be the strategy to go for here. We switch into Starlaw, hoping for the Confuse hits. Return does decent damage out, but again he uses bloody Rest again. So can we get some flinches? No, we're really stuck here. There's really not too much that we can actually do against this Snorlax. It's really not a good matchup for us in this team. Thankfully Return is doing like decent damage, but again he just keeps using Rest. He's already confused. Well, not confused now. This is not going well. I need to keep Starro alive for the later Pokemon. It goes down. We're on Jimmy McKinn now. At least we can use Rollout here, which could accumulate more damage over time. And that hopefully will help us out with the oncoming Pokemon. Okay, so we've got a 4th turn Rollout incoming for the Espeon. Psychic does massive damage, and yeah, we need to try again. That's annoying. That's really annoying. Okay, so we tried this quite a lot of times to get the RNG right. He's always going to bring out that Snorlax second when you start off with Ariados. But you can switch into Starlaw here. With Confusion and Return, it should deal out decent damage. We are level 75 now, not 71. It is poisoned, and we do take it down. That then brings an Espeon. I don't know why that just switched there, but we did take it down. And Bite is a great move here for the Espeon. From here, we can then go into the Blastoise, and we will switch into Jed Hunter because we have... No, we're going to switch into Starlaw still. Yeah, we might as well keep him and get confused. We're off. I don't think Starlaw's got much more usability in the Pokemon oncoming after this. And of course, Blizzard will nearly one-shot... Well, for God's sake. Freezes us, of course. At least it's used 2 out of its 5 Blizzards here. Then bring in Jed Hunter, who can use Giga Drain to one-shot. My god, that's not even a one-shot from there. We at least take down the Blastoise, bringing in the Venusaur. Psychic is a good move to be using here. They can't really do too much against Jed Hunter here. We just need to keep using Psychic and take down this Venusaur to bring in the very last Pokemon. And the last Pokemon coming out is the whole reason why Jimmy McKinn has not come out yet. Once we've got down the Venusaur, we can bring in the Charizard. If we got a Toxic out, that would be even better, but we don't. It's a one-shot with Flamethrower from there, and the sun is up. So what can we do here? Well, instead of using Water-type moves, I'm going to use Rollouts. It's 4 times effective on Charizard, and Jimmy McKinn gets us the victory. So the Poison-type team, a very, very shallow team to be using. Ariados, Crobat, and Quillfish can beat the entirety of Johto. No held items, under the level cap. I'm quite impressed that that's actually possible. Give a big hand out to Jed Hunter, our Ariados, Jimmy McKinn, our Quillfish, and of course Starlaw, our Crobat, probably the biggest player in this entire video. We don't talk about Paris, or Pidgey. We finished this at 11 hours 39 minutes, and that just leaves the next video to come tomorrow. If you got to this point in the video, please smash that like and subscribe, guys, I really appreciate it, and we'll see you tomorrow. Please take care. I hope you enjoyed this one.